Hey guys, this is Patty B within the Holler. I got another firearm I'd like to share with y'all. This is the Colt Detective Special, chambered in 38 Special. Make sure she's clear. Yeah, the Detective Special is a steel frame double action 6-shot revolver, chambered in the venerable 38 Special. Yeah, the Detective Special is just an old school classic that was based on the old Colt Police Positive. They basically just kind of shorten the barrel and put different grips on, but frame size and everything, these are pretty much the same. The Colt Detective Specials came in 4 distinct generations. The first 3 ran continuously from 1927 through 1986, and this is the 3rd generation of those. And then they made a 4th generation from 1992 to 1996. The finish on this thing, absolutely outstanding. The bluing on this is just remarkable. Something you don't really see in today's guns. They don't really blue much anymore. They like to coat stuff. But the bluing on this is just absolutely beautiful. This thing has hardly any wear on it. I think it spent most of its life in somebody's underwear drawer, which is a good thing. I don't have safe queens. I shoot everything I have. I don't shoot this a lot, but I take it out once a year and I put some rounds through it. It's just so pretty. Sometimes it's hard to shoot a whole lot, but yeah, it's going to get shot. You can see this thing barely has a drag line. I don't know if the finish is going to come through on camera, but this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. Specs on this thing: 2-inch barrel, and it weighs 22.5 ounces on my scale. Yeah, she's kind of heavy, but steel frame, that's kind of what you get. This thing weighs about the same as a Glock 19. When you compare it to a more modern alloy gun, you've got the Kimber K6XS, which is also a 6-shot, but this thing weighs less than 16 ounces, quite a bit lighter than that. That weight does help a little bit with recoil, but if you ever plan to carry something like this, it's definitely a little bit heavy. Features on this: got this nice big wooden grip here. The older generations of Detective Specials had a very skinny grip that I don't quite like as well. This thing fills your hand and feels pretty good. Cylinder release, like all old Colts, you pull it to the rear and you can push the cylinder out. This does have a shroud for the ejector rod, which was a feature of the Gen 3s. The older versions, just had an ejector rod sitting out there by itself, where it was more susceptible to damage. Sights on this, pretty simple. You've got a gutter rear and just a ramped blued front. Not the greatest sights in the world, but good enough for this little small thing. Trigger on this, pretty good. I don't like dry firing old school revolvers that have the firing pin on the hammer, so I'll kind of ease it, but kind of heavy, smooth, not bad at all. Pretty darn decent. Going to be able to shoot it for what it was meant for. Single action, of course, pretty darn light. Pretty darn light. Yeah. This thing's cool, and I'm looking forward to taking this thing out and ringing a bunch of steel, and come back in and tell you what I think about this thing. Well, let's go shoot it. All right, we got some 158 grain lead round nose Privy Partisan back here about 10 yards. Let's see where this thing's hitting for us. All right, looks like she's shooting a touch high, but man, these old classics are cool. All right, we stepped back a little bit. Those plates are about 15 to 18 yards. See how we can shoot this thing. All right, not bad. You know, those sights aren't great, but the trigger pull's not bad. So not too hard to get shots with this thing, and it's a whole lot of fun. All right, just because we can, we got 25-yard plate out there. A little bit far for a snubby for me, but let's see what we can do. All right, not too shabby. All right, since we did good on that 25-yard plate, we'll try that 40-yard plate. I feel like I'm definitely pushing the limits of me shooting this thing, but we'll give it a shot. Hey, I hit at least half of them. Not too bad. All right, back inside from shooting the Colt Detective Special. And man, these old things, they're just a lot of fun to shoot. My once pretty blue finish is now completely covered in grime because, you know, revolvers are just dirty. Fingers are nasty. But man, what a lot of fun to shoot. And, you know, this thing shoots pretty good. Double action trigger pull is pretty nice. You know, I made good hits out to 25 yards. You know, much past that, it's pretty tough, especially with those sights. But just a whole lot of fun. I mean, you know, would somebody want to carry this today? I don't know. You could, and you could do it fairly effectively, but there's definitely lighter, better options out there. For me, this is just a plinker, and that's how I enjoy it, just because it's cool. You know, growing up in the 70s and 80s, you know, all the cops and detectives and all that stuff on TV and movies, they were carrying little snubbies, and, you know, they were either little Smith J-frames or they were some kind of Colt like this. And when I say pistol like this, it just takes you back to those old school cop movies and TV shows, which to me is pretty cool. So definitely a classic, definitely a lot of fun. And, you know, I had a good range day shooting it today. Well, there you go, guys. Colt Detective Special. Y'all have a nice day.